If something small told you to jump, would you? Not a stranger, not a man, not a voice, but something smaller than a child, with too many teeth. He lived under my bed, said his name was Mr. Widemouth, and he told me to jump out the window, said I'd bounce back up. I was 5, and some nights, I think I still hear him. We were always moving. I never unpacked my toys because there was never a point. By the time the last box was opened, my dad would come home with that tight smile and say, "We're heading out again. New job, new town." He never asked how I felt about it. That's how we ended up in New Vineyard, Maine. It wasn't even a town, just a stitched-together patch of trees, fog, and cold wind. 600 people lived there, and every one of them looked like they were trying to forget something. The house we moved into was too big, too old. One of those places where the floorboards echo even when no one's moving. Every corner had shadows. Every wall held its breath. I turned 5 there. No party. No kids. Just a dry vanilla cupcake, and my mom whispering happy birthday while I tried not to cough. The next morning, the fever hit. The doctor called it mono. I didn't know what that meant. Just that it felt like the world was made of static, and I was sinking through my mattress. I was bedridden. My room became a prison. My toys were still in boxes. The walls were bare. That's when Mr. Widemouth appeared. Not with thunder or whispers, just there, at the foot of my bed, staring. He was small, about the size of a toddler, but shaped wrong, like someone tried to sculpt a child from memory and got lazy halfway through. His eyes were too big. His skin was waxy and pale. His mouth stretched wide across his face like a crescent moon with teeth. "Don't be scared," he said, smiling so wide it looked painful. "I'm your friend now." He never came when my parents were around. He told me they wouldn't understand, that they'd try to make him leave. They never had a friend like me, he said. At first, he just talked, asked me about dreams, told me strange stories about imaginary creatures that lived in shadows and only came out when you closed your eyes. He said he used to be one of them, but now he liked being seen. "I like being remembered," he whispered. Then, one morning, he asked if I wanted to play a game. "Follow me," he said, and before I could answer, he crawled off the bed and padded to the hallway. I followed. He led me to a room at the end of the hall, one my parents never used. The door had always been shut. Inside, it was empty, just pale wooden floors and a single window. He ran to it, grinning. "Let's jump," he said. "What?" "Down there. Pretend there's a trampoline. I do it all the time. It's fun." I looked out. We were on the 2nd floor. The ground below was a bed of dead leaves and pointed stones. "You'll bounce," he said. "I swear." "No," I said, backing away. His smile twitched. For just a moment, something ancient moved behind his eyes, like a mask slipping. Then he crawled back under the bed. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of the fever, because I kept hearing whispers from under the mattress. "Jump, jump, jump." The next day, he brought a box. Inside were knives, real ones. "Let's juggle," he said cheerfully. "It's a fun challenge. But you can't drop them, okay? They're sharp." I told him no. He frowned, deeply. His grin faded. His body stiffened. For a moment, he didn't look like something friendly anymore. He looked like something that had worn the idea of friendly for far too long. Then he disappeared. Again, under the bed. That night, he didn't whisper. He breathed. Slow, wet, waiting. Days passed. My fever broke. My mother let me go outside. Sunlight had never felt so cold. And there he was, waiting. "I want to show you something," he said, leading me toward the woods behind the house. His tiny feet made no sound in the dead leaves. "There's a place I take all my special friends," he said. "It's just through these trees. You'd love it." I stopped walking. His back was turned, but I knew. He was smiling. I never followed him into those woods. 2 weeks later, my dad said we were moving again. I didn't even care. I didn't say goodbye to anyone, especially not to Mr. Widemouth. On the morning we left, I looked up at my bedroom window. He was there, watching, not smiling, just staring. He raised one hand and waved. In his other hand was a steak knife. I came back to New Vineyard once, as an adult. The house was gone, burned down years ago. Local kids called it haunted. I followed the trail behind it, the one Mr. Widemouth tried to take me down. It led to a cemetery, rows of graves, small, child-sized. Most of the names were faded, but one stone was newer. It said, "Here lies someone who said yes." Don't listen when something small tells you to jump, especially if it smiles too wide, especially if it knows your name. Because once you've seen Mr. Widemouth, he never forgets you.